Let's go now to our Saudi writer and commentator, Salman Al-Ansari in Riyadh. Salman, thank you for joining us. It might be a stretch to say that Iran is now an ally of the United States, but the relationship does seem to be stronger than ever before, really. So what impact does this have, if any, on the Saudi-US relations? And also, what's been the reaction to this nuclear deal where you are?
Great. Hi, Natasha, and hi to all the viewers around the globe. It's very important to mention the fact that Saudi Arabia and the GCC countries are all at any global efforts on eliminating the nuclear weapons potential of Iran, which is a great step. But at the same time, what has been a worrying factor, or what was a big of a concern for us as Saudis, is the fact that the global powers, specifically the United States, is not taking crucial actions regarding the support of the militias. Iran has been fueling sectarianism in the region and supporting militias like Hezbollah and the IRGC, which is part of their political fabric, and send them to Syria and different places, and how they have been doing a lot of disturbing kind of momentum in Yemen, in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon. So we are speaking of a country that is defined by the United States itself as a global terrorism sponsor. So what we are asking the United States and the world's power to act upon the definition that they have put, which is Iran is the global terrorism sponsor. But let me tell you something. I believe personally that there are two good sides of this deal. The first thing is the fact that the conservative party within Iran will be somehow marginalized. They are still having most of the power in Iran, but somehow will be marginalized by such deal. And the second good or positive outcome out of this Iran deal is the fact that it will be somehow trying to moderate the political fabric within Iran, which is a good step. And I think Obama is very optimistic about this. We are not very, very optimistic about it, but we think it can be a good step in the right direction. But the two negative sides of such deal is the fact that it has never mentioned anything of the support of terrorism, of how Iran has been fueling the region with sectarianism. And we are worried and concerned of the frozen money, the frozen assets of the Iranian regime. We are wondering, where will it be melted? Will it be melted upon the people of Iran, or will it be melted upon the militias like Hezbollah and the other terrorist groups? And we are pretty sure that they will somehow take a huge portion of the frozen assets and have it melted upon their militias. That's an issue. So we need some red lines from the world's powers regarding this, but real red lines, not like the one that has been put
you would have to,
with the chemical weapons in Syria.
Salman, you would have to agree that Iran has complied with every rule that's been put in front of them to the letter. They've decreased their nuclear capacity by 98%. Wouldn't you have to commend them on this?
It's actually a great step. I'm not denying that. I'm saying that it's a great step that the Iranian regime is eliminating their potential nuclear weapon plans, etc. But what concerns us is not only the nuclear weapon. The nuclear weapon is one issue, but the other issue, which is as terrible and as equivalent to the nuclear weapon, which is the support of terrorism in the region. We cannot tolerate with a country that spread its militias in the region. So that's why.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off there, Salman. I understand your point there, which you have made on the frozen assets and the potential for terrorism there. If we can look, how concerned is Saudi Arabia about this from an economic point of view? Because in some ways, I mean, we've seen the price of oil plummet over recent weeks, and now you have Iran having the capacity to export more oil. So Saudi Arabia would have to be taking a further hit than it already has.
Let me tell you something. I think there is a huge exaggeration on this specific theme in the media. Let me tell you why and how.
But a write-down of $98 billion to your GDP isn't an exaggeration, though. That's a fact.
No, let me tell you, I will mention to you numbers. Saudi Arabia is the second biggest producer of oil in the world. The first is the United States with 14 million barrels per day in 2014, and Saudi is second with 11.6 million barrels per day. And if we speak about the Iranian government, they will be producing, like the estimate is 500,000 barrels per day. So there's a huge differentiation. And the other factor is the fact that the cost of the oil production is very high. It's almost like triple, if not more, than the cost that we have in Saudi. So in Saudi Arabia, we are not very worried about the idea of Iran becoming like a competitor in the oil market, because the oil market has already been struggling a lot with Iran or without it. But maybe you can tell, and I can agree with you in the fact that it can, with this deal, maybe the prices of oil will go down, etc., a little bit and have some kind of pressure on it. But it's not going to be a major kind of challenge for us, because we are basically the second biggest producer of oil in the whole world, and I'm pretty sure that the Iranian regime will need not only a decade or maybe 3 decades to improve their refineries and become an economic power in the future. But
okay,
at the moment, I don't think
Salman, I do apologise for interrupting you again. We will have to leave it there. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you so much, Salman Al-Ansari, for joining us from Riyadh.